Hello, my name is Lana, and for my final project, I have developed a mobile application called Writer's Block. And this application is a social networking app to connect aspiring writers, publishers, and other literary creatives. As a writer, it can be very difficult to find a community and also just to know where to go and what to do with the passions that you have. For example, I have a friend, we'll call her Lexi. She's working on the second draft of her fantasy novel, and she spent 6 years writing. She doesn't really know how to move forward with this. She doesn't have any connections. She's never gained any like writing accolades whenever she was in university. Um, but with the writer's block application, this would hopefully allow Lexi to meet other people who are also working on their drafts of their novels, meet publishers and editors, people that can give her connections, potentially help her figure out where to go and how to move on, and also just allow her to connect with potential readers as well, as she will be able to promote her book and the aesthetics of her book and get more people interested. So during the contextual inquiry stage for this design process, I interviewed potential users of all ages. Some of these users had previous experience with writing, especially creative writing, and some had no experience at all. They just had goals and passions. Some of these were current creative writing students at the University of Tennessee, and others were just already in the workforce. I collected data by finding overlapping responses about needs and desires during my interviews, especially when it came to writing habits. Many said their biggest issue was finding others that can help with the writing process and also just motivation to write every day, writer's fatigue. But many answers were exactly the same. It was easy to narrow down what elements were needed to implement into my app design. The overall needs and desires also made creating the user personas very easy. Most people, like I said, have the same questions, same desires. So I tried to highlight those without being too repetitive. I also created one user persona to represent the like dominant student demographic of my interviews, and then another to show the wider range of age, as well as just to show that it's not just for young adults and it's not just for students. It's for basically anyone, whether they're currently a student, currently working, of all age, especially to help with handling errors. I added back buttons and pop-ups that give users an opportunity to undo the action they've completed. For diversity, I have added a language setting. This allows users to change the app to show in their primary language. Um, this feature is listed under accessibility settings alongside theme settings. So that lets you change the color theme of the entire application itself for customization purposes. And you can also adjust the font size, and there's high contrast settings as well. My prototype, in my personal opinion, can use a lot of improvements. I'm not great at using Figma, so some of my elements and components don't work and navigate the way that I would like them to. With my lack of experience, it is difficult to find design or difficult to design these functions and get them to interact properly. So I'll run you through my prototype real quick. So for example, this is our homepage that you can see here on the screen. I can scroll easily. So the idea here for the home screen is to have people that you are already connected with showing their posts, kind of like Instagram. But it's not just pictures. So they can share little snippets of their writing. If they really loved their prompt response for the day, which I'll talk about in a second, they can share that here as well. So with the prompts, so here's an example. So today's prompt is write a story using only 5 words. And you can also see past prompts. You can see community responses as well. You can comment on people's responses. You can like them. And if you don't really love the prompt for the day, then you don't have to do it. Not responding to a prompt won't penalize you in any way in the app. The app's not designed to, gain points or anything like that for doing it every day. So if you want to hit skip, you will see this error message pop up, or not error message, but in a opportunity to go back if you don't actually want to skip it, if you accidentally press the wrong button. So it says, are you sure you want to skip this prompt? And you can hit no, go back, and it'll just go ahead and take you back to the same screen. So as you can see, I already touched on community responses. You can also go to the community tab. So this is where all of our different literary writing groups will pop up. You can create your own group. You can invite people to a group if you're someone who already has a creative writing group that meets in person, or for example, if there's a class at the University of Tennessee who wants their own group, if a professor wants to use it as part of their syllabus, and they can use this app as well. You can create your own group. You can search for pre-existing groups based on genre. So if you're someone who's interested in writing science fiction, for example, you can search science fiction and find a group that suits you. There may be multiple groups for each genre. That's just completely up to whoever's making it. There's not any like preset groups necessarily within the application. So it's completely user-based. You can also, under the community tab, see a calendar. So as you can see, we have this calendar function, and hopefully in the future, you would be able to select the date and see if there's any particular community events or local events happening, or even online events going on as well. And my goal is to eventually have it to where you not only have the calendar function, but you also just have like upcoming events listed here, based on like what genres that you like. So if you're someone who likes Appalachian fiction, then if there's like an Appalachian Writing Festival coming up, then hopefully that would pop up down here. And you can easily switch back and forth between these two tabs. As you can see here, we have just a very basic outline of a user profile. So the user profile, like I said, allows you to kind of give off the aesthetics of whatever it is you're working on, or if you're not working on something specific, then you can just post and keep people up to date. Maybe just post about what you're reading, for example. And over here in the top right corner, you can click on settings, and this is all of our accessibility settings. So for example, you can change the font size, and here's those language, high contrast, and theme settings that we discussed. And you can also go back from there. So that is my prototype. As you can see, it still could use a lot of work. But this project has taught me a lot. This course in general has taught me a lot, especially about accessibility. In past courses, I was taught that it was important to be diverse and be accessible, but I was never really taught exactly how to achieve that within an application, or within the design process in general. So basically, Writer's Block is an application, a mobile application that allows aspiring writers and other creatives to find a community of fellow literary creatives, allow you to find local groups, events, and really plug you into what it is you're interested in and keep you motivated. It also allows you to promote your own work and the aesthetics of your work as well, which we discussed. And like I said, it solves those motivation issues by giving you the ability to have those daily prompts. So to inspire you to write every single day. And that's all it takes, really, is writing every single day. Typically, the second you stop, you realize how easy it is to give up. So hopefully this app can solve that. So that is my mobile application writer's block. Thank you all.